That was already implied.
Wow.
Okay. Enough. All right. So, welcome back. All right. So, yeah, that's my intro. All right. There
Wow,
we go.
that's your intro.
Welcome back, Miss Moist.
Oh yeah, we need to welcome back our producer who's been in the snowstorm for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no one cares about that. Yeah, I am your host, the Boogeyman, here with my co-host
Ginger Snap.
And there's Miss Moist. There. Everyone's in the room
Why,
now.
hello everyone.
There she is.
There she is. Alright, so today's topic is winter horror.
Yay!
And this is pretty much movies that make you feel cold watching them.
Mm-hmm. And miserable.
Yeah. Anything you want to add before we move on to our topic? Yeah, any new movies you've seen or...
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
Okay, so I'm like a really big 80s fan, as you know. Big Walter Hill fan. I don't know if you're a Walter Hill fan.
Yeah.
So I just recently... It's been a while. I saw it when I was younger, but I didn't get to see the whole thing. But I just watched Streets of Fire.
I saw you post about that.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Linda Blair, right?
No.
It's not Linda Blair?
It's Diane Lane.
Oh, it's Diane Lane? Okay.
And Diane Lane, may I say, she did some really kick-ass movies in the 80s. She did a lot of like punk movies, which was awesome. And like you would never expect that. But anyway, Streets of Fire, because I've been on a Michael Parr, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. Parr. I've been on like a binge of him lately, because holy shit, he was hot. He was like the Tom Hardy of the 80s. He had that like deep masculine voice. He was just so hot and like just amazing. I don't know, like he really could have been like a leading man, and he just kind of never
took off.
Yeah, but he like had really good films in the 80s. You know, so that was an awesome film, and then I watched Eddie and the Cruisers.
Also, for I guess I don't know what is Streets of Fire.
Okay, so Streets of Fire, it's very
because I've never seen this movie.
Okay, so it's very similar to what is it similar to? The Warriors. I mean, it's Walter Hill, so it has that 80s vibe. It's
Walter Hill, all right.
It's in the city. It's in New York. Diane Lane is a musician. Oh, Rick Moranis is in it too. He's like her manager. And he's a dick in it though. He's like not funny. He's like an asshole. So she's like a up and coming famous like 80s singer, and Willem Dafoe shows up. Willem Dafoe, who's like in a biker gang.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's super young. He's super young in it. He shows up and he kidnaps her. He just takes her off the stage. Like he picks her up and she's screaming, and like all his biker buddies beat the bouncers, beat everybody out, and just freaking takes her. So then there's a girl in the audience that you see, and she works at a diner, and she like writes this letter to Tom Cody, which is her brother. We find out, hey, Ellen's been kidnapped. We need you. So then he shows up. It's Michael Parr. And they used to have a thing. Him and Diane Lane used to have a thing. So he says, if you give me $10,000, I'll go get her. So he like goes through the dangerous streets of New York, tries to get her through these biker gangs, sets the street on fire, blows up motorcycles.
Literally sets the street on fire.
Yeah, blows up. He shoots motorcycles and they just blow up. And it's freaking awesome. And but anyways, it's kind of like a romantic story in a way, but it's just kick-ass. There's like a lot of good fashion in it.
Sounds like a real exploitive film.
This would be great with the Warriors. Like this would be a good back-to-back marathon. Mm-hmm. So
where'd you see this?
It's hard to find. I found it on Daily Motion. Has it?
Good quality, or is it?
It's okay. It's not the best. I'm sure
it's not on Prime.
You could probably rent it on Prime, but it's not on. You can, like if you have a subscription, it's not on there. But anyway, so I've been on a binge of him lately, and he's just great.
What other movies did you watch?
Eddie and the Cruisers, which was amazing. Not a lot of people have seen that. Tom Berenger's in it. Have you seen any? Yeah. He was so hot. Oh my god. They made a second one.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's like Eddie lives, because like that's the whole story. Is like he's actually alive. He's not dead.
When did that movie come out?
That was like 86, I want to say. Late 80s, like mid-late 80s. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
I'll have to watch it again.
So those, I've just been like binging those. And then another Walter Hill movie I want to watch.
You're on a Walter Hill kick.
He's just, I really like his work. Southern Comfort is the next one I want to watch. That's on Amazon Prime.
I heard a lot of good things about that movie.
Yeah, so he just makes really cool movies. But yeah, what about you? Have you been watching anything?
Yeah, actually, I went through a lot of shit actually this week.
Shit? Like good shit or not good shit?
Not good shit.
Uh-oh.
So I saw ICU. starring Sylvester
I watched
Stallone.
that. I watched that too. I watched it last week.
I was actually gonna put this as one of our movies on our topic, but I was like, no,
It wasn't good.
There's a good idea in there
And a good cast.
There's a really good cast that's really underutilized. You have Stephen Lang, Robert John Patrick, Sean Patrick Flannery, Tom Berenger, fucking Dina Meyer, Charles S. Dutton. It's like you have all these great character actors, and yet you fucking waste them.
Just wasn't
and Chris
good.
Christopherson too.
Yeah,
like, you just waste,
I know.
Like a bunch of talented actors.
And it had such a cool killer premise, and the setting was cool. It was very kind of like a weird building, like a very kind of like a futuristic building.
Yeah, it reminded me like a fortress.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it just did not. I was like on, and I never do this because I hate people that are on their phones while they're watching a movie.
You're on your phone.
And I was on my phone because it didn't hold. I don't know what it was. It just didn't hold my interest.
Like I thought that was. Like, the first 10 minutes, I thought, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. You know what I mean? And then when he suffers that major blow.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, where do you go from here? And then, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just dips.
It dipped.
It doesn't work. I don't know why. But then I was reading about it, that this movie was shot and then reshot a year later.
Why? Did they say
Because they showed their first cut to an audience, and they fucking hated it.
Really?
And so they reshot the whole entire thing and the whole entire ending.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, and I was watching the endings like,
that sucks.
that is not a good ending. Because it just ends.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's very like kind of like an abrupt ending. Yeah.
It's like, he's still in a snowstorm. Where the fuck's he gonna go now?
Yeah. I don't know. This did have potential to be something great, but it didn't pay off.
A funny note from Stallone is that the movie was originally called Detox.
Oh, that would have been a better title.
Yeah, and so when you had Tom Berenger, Chris Christopherson, and Jeffrey Wright, I think it was Jeffrey Wright, and him all walk out of a plane, and the limo driver is holding the sign that says Detox, and made them all look like they're going to rehab.
Oh my god.
And like I was reading that quote from Stallone, I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking funny. That's a funny anecdote. Yeah, but that movie just did not work. A good serial, like a really good premise, just did not execute very well.
Yeah, and I wish there was more Sean Patrick Flannery in there.
Yeah, they fucking wasted him.
He's
like,
so
literally
good.
wasted.
Yeah, it just
You know, just not even him, just like the whole entire cast.
Was that before Boondock Saints?
No, it was after.
It was after.
Yeah, Boondock Saints was 96?
Like late 90s. Huh, okay.
Because it came out right around the time Pulp Fiction came out. And I remember a lot of people saying that Boondocks kind of bit Pulp Fiction style. I was like, I don't know about that.
I don't
because
think so.
if you look at the production dates, Boondock Saints shot way before Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it was just a different story, and they were funny. Like they both like had.
Well,
such
but
good
it was
chemistry.
more like the way that the story was constructed. You know how like they're like segments rather than just like a linear storyline.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that was what people were making the comparison to.
I could see that.
But then I saw The Ritual last night.
The Netflix one?
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
Really?
I just was like bored.
Had I seen this, like, if I finished this last year, this would probably would have been my top 10.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was
So what
really good.
what held your interest? Because I was bored. I was really bored, actually.
You know, it's funny because I think a lot... I've heard another podcast with women, like half the women just didn't like it. Because it was just like, it was boring to them. It was like, I don't get it. But the other half were like, oh, this is interesting. But I feel like men like this movie a lot more.
I can see that because it's like male bonding. It's Survivor kind of.
And it's one of those things where it's like, how can you not relate to this? Like, you know, even from like a gender standpoint, like it's about friends and bonding. Yeah. It's about guilt and redemption at the end. And basically, if you look it down, strip down to its core, that's what it's about.
Well, those are the things I liked about it. The creature was cool too, but I feel like the whole people at the end kind of ruined it for me.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The worshippers?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. That wasn't necessary. If they just had it like, because then I don't know, I had like the witch, which I did not like as well. The witch, it had like elements that was similar to that. I feel.
I could see that. To me, though, like, so I watched this when it first aired, and I watched it. And I was watching it in February, and it was kind of hitting a little too close to home for me, just from like a friendship standpoint. because at that point I was getting ready to go to New Orleans, and I was going with someone that I didn't necessarily trust, and someone I definitely don't trust with my life, and so it's like, fuck. So it's kind of like it was really hitting me really hard, and so like I couldn't finish watching it just because I was like, you know what? If something happened to me, like I don't think this guy would like do anything.
That's kind of scary.
And so yeah,
hopefully you don't hang out with this person.
No, I don't. And I cut him off, and so it was like, to me, that's why I didn't finish it last year. And I was like, dude, this sucks. I don't need this in my head right now, because like I don't need me to have like questions about friendship or like that kind of doubt, because if that doubt creeps in, then it's just gonna ruin your trip.
So what made you want to revisit it this time?
I wanted to watch it because I've been hearing I heard a lot of good things about it, and so it made someone's top 10, and I was like, that's interesting. I want to know why it made its top 10, and I could see why. And when they get to the cabin, is really fucking scary.
I liked that part.
That was really scary, because then that whole nightmarish fever just creeps in, and then the thing they see in the attic is just like, what the fuck
I wanted more
is
of that. Like I wanted more of those elements in the film, and
I think you got it with the disorienting. You know what I mean? Because like the whole movie makes you disoriented. You don't know where you are.
And then I thought, is this gonna have like an M. Night Shyamalan twist or something? You know, like the guy that like feels guilt, is he gonna be the one that's like doing all this? I don't know. But I could see like why guys like it, to go back to what you were saying. But it felt kind of flat for me. It didn't hold my interest.
I thought the reveal of the creature and the way they kind of revealed the creature was very smart.
That was cool.
They didn't really like play it up until the end, and then you got that big money shot. And it's like, oh shit.
The money shot.
But to me that was one of the things, and so I went back to it and said like, what's all the rave about? I want to see, like I understood what the rave was. I got up to the point where they got captured, and then I just stopped. Like, I can't do this right now.
The first time you watched it?
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this because I don't want this shit like in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So I ended up just saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna go through it and watch it, and I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. And to me, I thought it was a really good movie. It held my interest. I thought it was fun, and I thought it's what the Blair Witch should have been.
The original Blair Witch?
No, the remake or the sequel.
The Adam Wingard one?
Yeah, I think to me that's what it should have been like.
Yeah.
Because they had some of the elements from Blair Witch. You know
Actually, thinking about that now, it's been a long time since I saw the Wingard Blair Witch, but yeah, I can see that.
And my one criticism for that one was like I did not like the ending.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending either.
I was like, that's too much. Like, I don't need to see what's in the forest.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been much creepier if you didn't see it.
Right. Kind of like how the first one ended. Like, you never even see the witch.
Or even whatever. Just like a hint of it. Like, where you see the hand or something like that. And then, but you show it, and then you kind of like, you take me out of the movie by doing that.
Yeah, and it leaves, when you have your imagination, it's scarier rather than when you actually see something.
And I think that's what fan footage is lacking, because they want to show you too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, and my lady always brings this up, it's like,
if
you're always like in the middle of something, why the fuck are you always leaving the camera on or trying to
I know,
shoot?
That's true too.
And so to me, it's like, I try to like I could see it, like I gotta document this, you know what I mean? Because I'm a filmmaker or like a journalist, you need to document this shit.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't need to see what you're seeing. It's a lot more, what you see is scarier.
The reaction,
Yeah, but when I see the camera just like, going like this, shaking up and down.
It makes me dizzy. I'm not a fan of, like, there's some that I like. I'm just not a fan of a lot of them because they're so dizzy and disorienting, and it's just like, whoa, like, I feel like I'm like on a boat, like I'm gonna throw up or something.
Motion sickness?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shit.
I do. I think it adds a sense of realism to it.
But all of them have that, and it's like they overdo it. Not all of them, but they overdo it.
When you build up to that, then it works. But when it right away off the bat, it's shaky right off the bat, it doesn't work.
The one that did work was, and I don't even think the Jason one, the fan one, what was that called again?
Never Hike Alone?
That wasn't purely 100% found footage, though. But when he did have his like that worked.
Like that first half.
The first half it was him. That worked for me because it wasn't like crazy.
But then they did a smart. I can't remember because it's been a while since I've seen it. But they did a smart thing when he got into the cabin, and then I think his camera broke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they transitioned
to Jason's like
to like the point of view and stuff.
Yeah, I really liked that.
And I thought I actually bought that DVD and haven't watched it yet because
it's really good. I was surprised of how I think we talked about it on another podcast we did, but I was really surprised with that one. I really liked it.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else?
No, that's it. Just watch Streets of Fire if you're into like 80s cool biker rock and roll movies.
Exploitation films.
So great. And Michael Parra. I watched Bad Moon too. Have you seen Bad Moon?
I've been trying to see that forever.
So it's him. He's the werewolf, and like there's a nice shirtless scene of him. But I forgot that movie. It's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it, but I totally forgot about it.
That's by Eric Red, right? The guy that did The Hitcher, that wrote The Hitcher.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He only did. I think he only wrote like 3 films and directed 2.
That's it.
Yeah. Personal problems kind of creeped in away and damaged it. Yeah. He did Ghost in the Machine.
Oh, that's right. Man,
I actually like that movie.
That's been forever since I've seen that.
I don't know if it's gonna hold up now, but
I should revisit that. Yeah, I need to revisit that.
We should do a 90s Dukes. 90s part Dukes.
Yeah, because Bad Moon was 96, I want to say,
or
like 97 or something.
I mean, there's a lot of good 90s shit out there. Seriously.
The ending like sucked for me because I'm like, really? But
oh, really? Like one of those endings?
Well, it's kind of like
well, don't ruin it for me.
I'm not like he was a certain way. Why would he do that at the end to her? To his sister? Like, I don't know. There was like there's unanswered questions. I want to say
maybe he was planning a sequel.
Could have been.
Or Warner Brothers. They're notorious for interfering.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Notorious.
Yeah, check it out though.
Is it for rent or is it free?
No, it's free if you have Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. All right, so let's move on to our topic, and it's winter horror. I don't know.
This one was hard for me. I want to say.
This one was really hard for me too because I had to watch a lot of crap.
But there's a lot of like choice. Like there's a lot, and
you took me and Elysa almost came to blows because she took one of the movies that I wanted to see, and she's like, "No, motherfucker, I'm doing it."
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's mine.
So yeah,
we narrowed it down. We're doing 5 each.
Yeah, 5
but there's
each.
a lot of good ones out there, and ones that I have. Yeah, well, my list is good. I don't know about your list.
My list is
my list.
I'll just say this: my list is interesting.
It's interesting. Okay,
it's interesting.
I feel like my list is like a lot of Stephen King. Like
you have a lot of King.
More than half of it is Stephen King.
I kind of stayed away from some of those movies because I think she's doing that one. So I had to resort to some of like the lesser ones.
Do you want to start then? I'm curious what your list is.
I'll actually start.
Are you doing them in order or just like whatever?
I'm just gonna name. They're not in order, but I'm just gonna count them up so I know where I'm at. Okay. So I'm gonna say 5 and 4, 3.
Because mine are not in order. I just did like. Whatever. Top 5, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just start 5, work our way up.
Okay.
All right. So again, these are not our top 5. These are just top 5, just because. All right. So, all right. So number 5, curtains.
Okay, so I need to finish that movie. I only saw like 20 minutes of it.
Really?
Yeah.
The movie doesn't start to like 45 minutes into it.
I know. I know.
The movie does not get good till you get to the ice skating scene.
But see, when I watched it, there was no winter elements to it.
No,
So it happens later?
Yeah, it happens later. It takes 45 minutes into the fucking movie, then you see snow.
And it's not like a long movie either, I don't remember.
It is.
Like an hour and a half?
Oh, that's a long movie. It's still long.
So,
okay. So, I will say this movie was interesting. And that mask, holy fucking shit, that mask looks realistic.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It looks real. There's a scene where it's like, he throws the mask at one of the actresses, and she puts it on, and it looks like her eyes are like part of the mask. It looks like it's her face.
So what is the film about? Give like a quick plot.
So, I don't even know if you can call this a plot. So it's about a director and an actress. They're adapting this book called Audra, and Audra is a playwright or something like that about a woman who has problems and kind of finds out that her husband is having an affair, and it's up to her to right that situation by how Audra would do it, right? But according to the director, so the film opens with our lead protagonist, our actress, and she's doing a monologue from Audra, and it's really ham-fisted. It's really bad. Like
hand-fisted. That sounds wrong.
I'm on a
It's
roll
bad.
today.
It's
What did you watch while I was gone?
so.
What other movies were you
terms.
watching?
And so she's delivering it badly, right? And
Yeah.
so anyway, but then I'm realizing like, oh, this is not part of the movie. This is what she's acting for. This is her acting, right? And so I'm wondering, why does these lines sound so bad? Oh, and then it says cut.
Yeah.
No,
like,
and then you hear a voice, and it's John Vernon, who plays Jonathan Stryker, who is the director, and he's talking shit to his actress, saying that's not what Audra would do, because at the end of her monologue, she pulls the trigger and kills her husband, and he's telling her, no, that's not what Audra would do. It's like but she's all, that's what I would do. It's like, but you're not Audra. You need to be Audra. A few weeks later, they go to a mental asylum, and I guess part of it was because she wanted to get in the headspace of someone that wasn't mentally stable.
She was trying to be like a method actor.
Yeah, she was like, it's method, darling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so the director is committing her. Said, boom. And the...
Boom.
Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And so she's just sitting there, just like, staring at a fucking hole through the director, and just like, and then right around the warden says something. So you're acting really calm. I expected you to be a little bit more erratic. And then she says something, and then he says something else. She picks up the pair of scissors and tries to kill the director. Right?
I didn't see that far.
That's fucking 10 minutes into the movie.
And I only saw like less than 10 minutes. My internet was shoddy that day.
That was like 10 minutes into the movie.
That's where I stopped.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Wow.
And so they put the straitjacket on her and the director, John Stryker says, talks to the warden and says, hey, let me have a moment with her. She's calm. She's in a straitjacket. She can't hurt me now. So I'm good. And the warden's off.
Famous
okay.
last words.
And so they leave the room. Orderlies and the warden, they leave. She comes running up to Stryker and says, darling, see, we did it. Like,
what a nut job.
And I was like, yeah, we did. It's an all-in act. You're very convincing. I almost thought you almost killed me there. And she's like, I thought so too.
Wow.
And so right off the bat, you're like, oh shit, this is an act.
Yeah.
So how far is this going to go? Right? Fast forward, there's like a monologue of her going through it. And slowly, she is starting to really lose her mind. After Stryker visits her constantly, on the last visit, she's broken because of what she's seen and how she's being treated and how she's being medicated. She broke herself, and now she's like, fuck. And Stryker's all, fuck. Okay, I lost my star. I need to do something about it now. So he goes out and takes an ad out of Variety and says, director looking for new casting lead for Audra. And he invites 6 different types of women. He invites a musician, a skier, a comedian, a veteran actress, god damn it, a blonde.
Wow. That's a character, a blonde.
Well, she's an well, here's the funny thing. All 6 of these women, they're all brunettes.
Oh, except for the blonde.
And the blonde gets killed off like that.
Racist.
It's like, what the fuck? And so like the whole entire time, like I have a hard time differentiating who's who.
That's the thing, when they all have the same hair color, it's hard to figure out who's who.
And they all look alike.
Oh, that doesn't help either.
And I'm like, who's who?
Yeah.
But there's one of them that has an accent, and then one of them that's funny, and one of them's a hoe, and then the other is is reserved, and it's just like they
are they at like a mansion?
So they
right?
go, yeah. So the director invites them all to a mansion.
Okay.
Right?
So they're all staying there.
They're all staying there.
He's trying to figure out like who's the best or
or who wants the part.
Okay.
Really bad. Mm-hmm. And so we meet. So we only meet 3 out of the 6.
Okay.
Apparently there were more, but they cut it down just for time. And so we meet the comedian first. And when we meet the comedian, she's very funny. She's very likable. Then we meet the veteran actress who's down on her luck and trying to press her agent to get me this role. But her agent's on, I can't get you this role. You have to go to the mansion and audition for this role if you want it. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I can get you. The rest is up on you. And then we meet the blonde who is an actress, and she's supposed to be like the up-and-comer, right? Okay. She's the younger one, and she's the up-and-comer. But then there's a weird sequence right here. So there's the blonde actress is sitting there reading from the script, and then you see a man hop over a fence in a ski mask.
What the fuck?
And all of a sudden, like, she's walking around in her underwear and her shirt, and then the dude comes out, grabs her, throws her on the bed, and he's just gonna start to rape her. It's like,
oh my God.
What the fuck is going on?
Wow.
But the way that it's shot and the way that he's holding her, it's like, wait, this doesn't look right. Like, he's not even trying. Like, I'm not saying he should be trying, but I'm saying that it looks like he's wrestling.
Her not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
And she's not even fighting, is what I'm saying.
Does she know him or something?
Well, so I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So she's not fighting. She's like, no, stop. I'm thinking, okay, even in the 80s, acting wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Right? And then, like, he takes off the mask and he's like, ha, got you. Like, no, you didn't. I knew it was you.
Wow. It was like her boyfriend or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then so they ended up banging. And then she wakes up and he's gone.
Of course.
And that's our first kill. Okay. She's our first kill. Boom. And there's a creepy doll that's on her by her bedside, which is on the poster, which I thought would be a more prominent role, but which is not. Which is disappointing because that fucking doll is creepy. I swear to God, that doll has the same facial expression, but in different light, it changes.
That's creepy.
And it's like, there's a moment where the girl's getting stabbed, and then it goes back to the doll, and it looks like it's smiling.
Is the doll, like, symbolic of something towards the end?
No, because well, it is for the skier because it represents innocence. Oh. And that's what it's supposed to represent. And for some reason, the killer takes the doll.
Is the killer the woman from the beginning?
No.
Okay. Are you lying?
No. No, actually, you'd be surprised what the killer is.
So, the way that you made this sound when we were texting, like, it wasn't good.
It was entertaining. And so, like, but... Okay, so once they get to the mansion, they all do this, and they all have their quirks, right? The slut goes out, and she has sex with the handskeeper, the guy that... Of
course.
All that stuff, and everyone else is like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And so the director, is what I'm trying to get at, is the director, and then, oh yeah, I forgot this. The girl breaks out of the mental asylum.
From the beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Okay.
She comes, and she says, I'm going to play too. And so it just creates this whole awkwardness, right? And so each of these women have to do something in order to get this part, right? And so the skier who represents, like, who's someone that's really naive and innocent, Stryker takes her by the hand and then goes to her room, and then later on, you find out that she's in bed naked and he's getting ready. He had sex with her.
Of course. And
then it shows, like, she starts crying because she's like, what did I do? Like, why did I do this? And and everyone made this, and then it cuts forward to, like, the morning and her skiing. And everyone made this whole skiing thing, like, seem like it was the greatest fucking thing ever. It wasn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought it was cool too, but no, it doesn't work.
Was it a killing or something?
Yeah, it was a killing.
Okay. Don't give it away, because I do want to watch this. Because I do hear, like, mixed things about this movie. Like, some people really enjoy it.
I was reading about this movie. This movie was shot. It had the same problem Rage had. where it was shot and it was shelved for 3 years. But this movie was shot, shelved, and then reshot again. They reshot like 80% of this movie.
Do you know what year the final version came out?
God damn, I was reading about this.
Let me see if I can find it.
87, I want to say.
It was 87?
Yeah.
Interesting. Why do you think that it was shelved or that they had issues?
Oh, creative differences between the screenwriter, producer, and the director.
I see. But it had the same cast?
Yeah, 1983. It came out 83, but it was shot in 1980.
Interesting. Huh. John Vernon. So, is it snowing? Like, what does winter have to do with this movie?
So it's up in the north. It's up in the northeast, and it starts snowing.
So that's what makes it a winter?
And it's cold, yeah.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of snow, and that's pretty much it. But one of the things, though, too, is like I was trying to make a point of, too, and the reason why I was really trying to draw that out was to make the point that this movie now is more relevant now than it was fucking 20, 30 years ago. It might have been relevant then, too, but it is way so relevant now.
Is it because of the Me Too movement?
It's because of the Me Too and how all these actresses are always, these horror stories you hear these actresses say about, like, how they're being treated in casting calls and stuff like that. Like, and they're being asked inappropriate questions and being asked to do inappropriate things. It's like, when women go into, like, these directors, they're like, some of these directors, like, take advantage of their position.
Of course. And
so and there was a story that Heather Langenkamp said on a podcast where she said, I've gone into casting sessions too, but I heard stories, but the only reason like nothing happened to me was because I went in and had my wedding ring on.
Whoa.
And that was why she got turned down for a lot of parts. It was because of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so it's like, god damn, like imagine how big of a star she could have been had, it would have been based on her talent and all that. It's like, wow, and that's why she's so big in makeup effects now.
Yeah, she does makeup effects.
And it's crazy because I think this movie was really saying something back then that no one was really.
It was hush hush back then, like because you wouldn't get work if that's been going on since like forever, but back then, like you weren't allowed to talk about it because then you get persecuted, Yeah. So.
And it's funny. It's like not funny. It's like Megan Fox came out and said, that shit happened to me too. But like their movement wouldn't think of me as a victim because I was, because of the way I am. You know what I mean?
Right. And a lot of people say, "Oh, she's a bitch," or
she's a slut anyway. You know what I mean? So she wouldn't be a sympathetic victim for them.
Right.
And I think this movie was touching on. I'm not a big fan of someone that's trying to like put today's politics and today's movies on like yesterday's 80s movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you do that, you ruin the movie. You know what I mean? And you can't watch certain things. It's like people.
It takes it away.
It's like you watch Pretty in Pink now, and you put today's politics on. It's like, oh shit, I can't watch it. Or like you watch The Breakfast Club. And it's like. Like, you motherfuckers are ruining this shit for me.
I know, and that happens with a lot I'm seeing now, too.
And it's because, look, times were different back then. And, back then, whatever, it's... Even though that shit happened back then, that sucks. You know what I mean? Even though it happens now, it sucks.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't help draw that parallel because of the director's position.
Right.
And what he's doing to his actresses. I just couldn't help but think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I could see that for sure.
So I think to me it's like this is a movie that's really out there. It's like, look, this is what happens behind closed doors.
So do you recommend watching it or
I do recommend watching it now. Like I do think with again with today's politics and all that stuff, I think watching it now would be it's saying something.
Yeah.
That
for sure.
That it was trying to say back then.
For sure.
But I had a lot of fun with this. I do think that it's a woman killer, which is
cool.
awesome.
That's nice.
And the only thing I didn't like about it is like there was, which I think you're not gonna like either, is like not a whole lot of blood and gore.
Oh, really? Because that was gonna be my question. Like, was it gory? How were the kills?
No.
Really?
And I think it was because of the reshoots and all that stuff, and all the budget went to the reshoots. You know what I mean? So
they skipped on the gore.
They skipped on a lot of the killings, and some of the killings like kind of happened off screen.
Oh man!
But there is a good twist at the end that I enjoyed. I thought, I kind of saw it coming, and when you see it, let me know because I want to talk about that ending.
Okay, I'll try to watch it like this weekend because it's gonna be raining, so it'd be perfect weather.
Yeah, right. That's number 5. Curtains.
Okay, so I kind of have like a this or that. I'm trying to decide for the 5th. They're kind of a tie because I just watched both of them recently, and I'm like, I don't know which one to choose over it. So I might just like say them both for number 5. Is that okay?
Yeah, what you got?
All right, so I just watched Cold Prey, the Norwegian one from 2006. And then the other one I watched that I actually really, really liked, and I think I liked it a little bit better than Cold Prey, was Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter.
From 1987, yeah. So Cold Prey was good. It was, the only thing that sucked about it, the version I saw was dubbed. So it's a Norwegian film. The version I saw was dubbed, so it has its benefits, and it's not, I
can already know where you're going with this.
Because so when you watch a subtitle horror film or a thriller, it's hard to pay attention to what's going on when you have to read the bottom of the screen, right? It's hard because you have to do like double takes. So the benefit of it is that it is dubbed and that you don't have to do that. But the part is the acting from the English people to the Norwegian, it's off.
It doesn't translate.
Because when they laugh, that's how they laugh. It sounds like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. And they do that a lot in the beginning, and it kind of threw me out of it. Like, oh fuck, this is bad. Like, so it makes you think those actors are bad.
You couldn't change it?
No, not in the version I saw. I rented it on Amazon, so but it eventually gets better because they stop laughing when shit hits the fan. But overall, it was a decent thriller, I want to say. It had some good gore. It's basically these, I think it's a group of 5 skiers that go to kind of like an isolated ski place. And one of them gets injured. He fucks up his leg and he breaks it. And, a snowstorm starts to happen. So they're like, what are we going to do? Like, we can't make it back to the car. We got to find shelter. Mm-hmm. So they find nearby like this abandoned ski lodge. And they break in and they give him alcohol and like start a fire. And they're like, well, why don't we just stay here for the night? The next morning, the boyfriend, he's like, I'll go get someone and come back because the kid can't walk. So then stuff starts happening. They start finding photos. Like, no one's been here since the 70s. It's been abandoned for 30 years. And it's like a photo of this family. And in the beginning, you find that there's a bunch of skiers missing. Like, they do kind of like a montage in the beginning. Like, a bunch of skiers are missing. And then you see this kid running away, and he's got like this gnarly like birthmark on his face. So then they find that photo, and it has that kid with the birthmark, and his like parents in front of the ski lodge that they're at. And then they find like, their comments on like the, what do you call those, like hotel guest books that you like write in? Sign-ins. Yeah, sign-in sheets or whatever. So then someone's in there the whole time. Someone's in there creeping and kind of like stalking them. And then little by little, they get killed off, and then you find out who it is. But the thing I didn't like about it is there wasn't a reason for the kill. You never find out more what's going on in the backstory of how the killer became the killer. Mm-hmm. But there is a sequel, and a lot of people are...
The sequel is fucking a far better movie.
That's what they're saying. And it's kind of... It did what Halloween 2 did. It was shot years later, but it takes place the same night with the survivor girl in the hospital. So I am curious to see that because everyone
on Prime, I believe.
You can rent it. Yeah. Shudder used to have it, and they took it off because I went on there and like the photo pops up. It says, "Oh, something went wrong." So Shudder did used to have it because I remember the photo of her, but they took it off. So. But I do want to check that out just to see if they do answer my question. Like, I don't want to give it away if you're going to watch it, but...
No, because that one, I have both of those on my queue. Mm-hmm. And so,
So, I don't know if you want to watch the dubbed one. I mean, it's just the acting
I found English. 2 versions on Prime, so okay. I'll have to look and see which one's which.
Okay. If you watch this, I feel like if you were to watch subtitled to this, you wouldn't, it wouldn't be bad, like, because there's not a lot going on in the background.
I don't like watching, unless it's really bad kung fu movies. Yeah. I don't like watching a lot of movies dubbed.
I know, I don't either. Because the laughter, it's like, ha, ha, ha.
I love watching,
it's like, so bad.
I love watching kung fu movies and then, like, just having the voices and being all off and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it makes it laughable.
Yeah, and then but the fighting always makes up for it, and it's not like. And it's supposed to be funny on top of that. It's like watching those old Jackie Chan movies being dubbed. It's like, that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so maybe like watch this with subtitles then.
Okay.
Yeah, but so that, I mean, it was okay. Like, I definitely think it was solid. You know, it was nothing spectacular, but I do really want to check out the sequel. The other one I mentioned was Dead of Winter, and that came out in 1987. That kind of has a similar curtains story. This was a great film. So this is on Amazon Prime. It has, what's her name?
I was this close to watching
it
too.
really liked this film.
I was this close to watching it too.
Really liked this film. So it has Roddy McDowall. I don't know if anybody's a Roddy McDowall fan, but he was Peter Vincent in Fright Night. Awesome. He was in Planet of the Apes.
He was Caesar. He's right? Caesar.
No. Cornelius.
Okay.
Cornelius. He's great. I love him. He is fucking fantastic in this movie, and I wish he played more psychos. I really do, because he had like that Anthony Perkins kind of vibe.
Hey, Peter Vincent was a fucking psycho. Let's just be real.
That's true. But this movie, I really recommend it. It's not gory by any means, but it's very messed up. So it's this actress down on her luck, Mary. I can never pronounce her last name. She's married to Ted Danson. Steenburgen.
Mary
Steenburgen.
Her. So she's in this. She's down on her luck actress, not really getting work. She goes to this audition, and it's Roddy McDowall. And he looks at her so, like, intensely. And apparently, you know, something's off there, right? Like, something's going on. So he goes, can you move to the side? Let me see your profile. And he basically sets her up where, okay, it's not my final decision. It's the director's final decision. So if you want to come back to the house and audition there, we'll film you. And we'll see how it goes. We'll obviously pay you this amount, blah, blah, blah. So she agrees to it. So the next day, she like leaves her boyfriend and she goes, and it's winter time, so it's snowing. She ends up at this mansion, and it gets a bad snowstorm. And the guy she meets is great. He's in a wheelchair, and he was like a psychologist, I want to say. And Roddy McDowall is kind of like his little bitch. Like, he's like his like servant or whatever. He does everything for him because he's handicapped. Mm-hmm. So basically, you find out that there's something going on here, something not right. The phone line's dead, or, you know, oh, it's because of the storm. And they like drug her milk and like. But the thing that's hilarious about this, they're so polite how they mistreat her, right? Especially Roddy McDowall. He's super polite, but he's a freak. So he'll like cater to her and do everything as they hold her hostage there. And you find out why. I don't want to give it away because I actually really do recommend it. You find out why she's being held there. They make her look a certain way. You find out she's auditioning for this role that this one actress disappeared from, and she looks just like that original actress. So they cut her hair, they do her makeup, they make her look just like that person. So then you find out like why they're doing this and holding her there, and it's like winter, so she can't escape. Like, she tries to, but the blizzard's so bad and the wind. And then Roddy McDowall finds her and he's like, you shouldn't be out here. Takes her back, so she like can't get out. And then at the end, it's like, it has like a decent twist. It's not like a crazy twist, but it's decent. But I just love it for Roddy McDowall because like
Roddy McDowall makes everything
he
better.
Makes it so, and I don't know why. I'm not biased. He's a Virgo or anything, but he just makes it so like he's just so good in this role. He's just so good. So like,
and he's a Virgo.
And he's a Virgo.
Even better.
Even better. But
at least he's not an asshole area.
Oh my god. But
no, it's a big Scorpio.
Oh,
I own it.
So funny, off topic. I saw this funny meme about like, everyone please wear a condom on Valentine's Day because there's enough Scorpios out there. I thought that was funny. But
hashtag true story.
Right? But anyway, like I said, it's not like a gory serial killer or anything. It's just a very like I want to say it's a thriller, and it's more of a kind of similar to Psycho. Kind of
like
has
like
like not a whodunit, but
you know who does it then, right?
Yeah, you find out like what's going on. But it's very like kind of like in the same aspect of Misery. Like, you're held captive, you have no control. Someone was murdered. So there's not a lot of gore going on, but the story and the acting makes up for that. And I don't know, I was just really entertained by it, and I actually was like, this is actually pretty good. So, and that was 1987, and you can find that one on Amazon Prime. Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, number 4. Frozen.
Oh, it's a good one.
And I'm talking about the Disney one, you know.
That was a nightmare.
That shit was fucking horrifying. Oh my god.
Horrifying.
Gave me fucking nightmares for weeks. I posted that in the Shockwaves group, and someone posted up the meme of the snowman singing.
Yeah. We can build a snowman.
I actually totally forgot how good this movie was. I actually liked this movie. I know a lot of people are gonna come down on it just because of the premise, and you know, there are some acting choices in here that are are questionable. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of stupid decisions too. But
especially Kevin Zegers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was okay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
And I know why people are split on this movie. You know what I mean? And I understand why, but I haven't seen this movie since I had rented it back.
Was it 2007?
7 or 8?
Okay, because I saw it when it came out on Netflix. I think had it.
I rented it at Blockbuster along with.
Oh yeah, Blockbuster was still around then.
Yeah. What was it? Devil and Robin Hood. Russell Crowe, Robin Hood. So I had quite the interesting triple feature that night.
None of those go at all.
Yeah, no. Devil and Frozen might have gone.
Devil the
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Those two might have gone together just because of the coldness of it all.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it and it's like, oh, this is pretty interesting. I like it, and I like Sean Ashmore.
I do too.
I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah, and I loved him on Animorphs. I don't know if you remember that show. He started off on Animorphs from the book series, and then he did X-Men.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to bring him back. I liked him a lot in The Following.
Yeah.
I thought he was good in The Following. I liked his
He has
character.
a twin brother too that's an actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're identical twins.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually was surprised of how much I did like that movie, and I feel like it gets a lot of like hate.
It gets shitted on.
But I don't know why, because it's like you have to imagine yourself in. So this kind of is a survivor movie too.
It is a survivor movie. So basically,
in the fucking snow.
It's basically 3 friends that get trapped in a ski lift. About how would you say 100 feet, 50 feet up in the air?
No, it's more than that because you wouldn't break your legs if it was 50 feet.
Oh, no, because they shot it at 50 feet. That's what I was thinking about.
Oh. But they're pretty high up there.
Yeah, they're pretty high up on a ski lift, right?
Yeah.
They're probably at the midway point.
Yeah.
And
then it just stops, right? Because they go on it when the person says it's over, or like they sneak on it. I don't remember.
No, they talk to the dude that's running the ski lift, like into letting them get one last run in.
But then he like leaves or something.
Yeah,
right?
he leaves and says, "Hey, I got 3 more up there, and then you're done."
Yeah.
But not knowing that there are 6 people up there together, so 3 people do come down, but there's still 3 people
still left
on the ski.
That's right.
And so dude's all, "Hey, we're clear up here," and dude downstairs, "We're clear down here. Let's go home." Shuts off, and they were up there for fucking 3 days.
3 days.
3 days. No food, no water, no nothing.
And frostbite. Frostbite. That one scene, was it her hand?
Her hand.
Oh man, that scene got me. I was like, oh my god.
That still got me too, because I was watching it yesterday, and I was like, oh fuck.
And then you hear the noise, noise and everything. It's like.
And you just see her fucking skin just start peeling off. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. Like, people want to hate on this movie just because it's the premise. Like, how can you make that interesting? And I get it. How do you make that premise interesting? You have 3 people stuck on a ski lift for a majority of the runtime. And how do you make that interesting?
You know what I think, though? So, actually, some of those are my favorite. You know why? Because you have to make it interesting in that kind of... So there's another movie I would pair this with called Penny Dreadful. Not this show.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Have you ever seen that?
That's an After Dark movie, yeah.
Yes, and it was so freaking good. It's a girl, she has a car phobia because I'm not going to sidetrack, but I'll just wrap it up real quick. She has a car phobia because she was in a car accident with her mom who died. So she's afraid of cars.
Yeah. And
so her psychologist or doctor takes her to try to get over her fear in a car. And there's a weird hitchhiker they pick up, and basically she's stuck in a car this whole time, and it's her fear. So she's in what she fears the most. I love these situations.
But outside, I think the hitchhiker's
outside and killed her psychologist. Yeah. So she's trapped there in the car by herself. I love these situations because it's like, what would you do in a situation like that? It's a survivor thing, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like you have to compensate and make it interesting to have that situation, and it's harder to do that.
Yeah.
With only those characters, one setting. I don't know, like some of those are my favorite.
Yeah, but see, I think at the same time too is like what you gotta remember is that Adam Green, when he writes his movies, he usually writes about people that he knows, and so like people in Hatchet were usually based on his friends, and then
interesting.
The 3 people on here were actually based on some of his friends.
Huh.
These were actually based on 2 of his friends, and so to me, I feel like that's how you do it as a screenwriter. Like, not
make it relatable.
Not blatantly say, "Oh, this is my best friend, and that's his best friend, and that's how they act."
Yeah.
But he even goes as far as to say, like, when I write my characters, I usually write, like, if I'm talking to my friends, or like if I see a character, like, I'm gonna put some of the traits on there, and then make it that way. You know what I mean?
And that's good because it makes it kind of relatable. Like, oh, we would know someone like that, or that would have those elements. And
I think that's smart, and I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially because he was a young filmmaker when he wrote that movie,
too. Did he do that before Hatchet?
He did that after Hatchet.
After Hatchet.
He did Hatchet, then Spiral, and then he went to do Frozen.
I haven't seen Spiral.
Spiral is pretty good. Joel David Moore plays a psycho. That fit perfectly in our Cycles in Love
episode. Nice. I should check that out.
So I think... So that's how he does it when he writes characters. And even in Victor Crowley, like, there's a divorced couple, and he writes it as, like, his ex-wife is the ex-wife in real life. And so they talk to each other in the way that they actually did talk to each other, which I thought was interesting. And
it's like, we all know that friend that would make a stupid decision, like one of the characters does in this movie. I don't know if you want to say what he does.
Yeah, he jumps out.
Yeah, he thinks he can make it on the ground.
Yeah, but not knowing that the fucking snow hardens, and so he breaks his fucking leg.
Yeah.
And then the bone comes out.
That part was so gross.
And no, the one part that got me though was the wolves.
The wolves, cause he's fucked. His legs are broken. He can't get up, and there's wolves near him on top of that.
There's like fucking 6 of them, and they start mauling on him, and they're listening to this. You know.
So they're hearing and seeing their friend like die.
Yeah, and that is like terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, to be in that position and be that helpless is like, fuck. Like, what can you do in that situation? Another
part too that made me cringe was when Shawn Ashmore does he tries to glide, but then his hands. Remember? Don't they get like rubbed and like burn or whatever?
Yeah, when he's going on the wire, because it's those wires are sharp. So if you touch it,
your hands like rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was like, oh my god.
But there's no happy ending to this fucking movie.
There's not, but it was. I actually really like it.
And it reminded me a lot like it's like a younger version of It's Alive.
Oh yeah,
not It's Alive.
Alive with Ethan Hawke. Yeah, that was a good movie too. I wanted that on my list, but I didn't include it. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that's horror typically, but
that's a true story.
Yeah, it is a true story.
Yeah.
And so I think people hate this movie just because, like, the dialogue's stupid, the characters seem dumb, the setting is not interesting. But I feel that setting is interesting because that's a real life setting.
Oh yeah.
And if you were in that position,
right,
you could not fucking sit there and tell me what would I do.
Exactly.
Or because you know what. If you're desperate enough, you're going to do whatever the fuck you can to get out of that situation. And that's what I feel like people don't quite get. It's like when desperation sets in, there's nothing that a desperate person
when push comes to shove
could do. You know what I mean?
And it's like, what would you do in that situation? And I forget why because it was the weekend and it was closed.
Yeah, it was closed for the week.
So that's why they were stuck up there. Because usually you'd wait like overnight and someone would show up the next morning. But no, it's because it was closed.
Yeah, so Frozen, it'll be my number 4. I think that's a really good movie. And I think, I really do think that it deserves a second watch.
I do too.
And I wish Adam Green made more movies. I really do. I kind of wish he kind of dialed back on like naming his characters after directors.
Yeah.
Just a little. Because there's a guy. Because one of the guys' name is literally fucking Joe Lynch.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? So yeah, just dial that back a little. It's like the Prom Night 2 thing.
Oh my god.
Where everyone was named Wes Craven or Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Romero.
Mr. Romero, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frozen. That I really liked that one as well. I got to revisit that.
Yeah, that was tense, and I was on the edge of my seat when I was watching it yesterday.
All right. So my next pick. I don't know which one I want to do next. Let's see. I'll do Misery, just because we're on the
hobble scene.
Woo! Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to say a lot about this movie, just because it's so great and
Kathy
so
fucking
many.
Bates. Man.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta say.
That's all you gotta say. Kathy Bates, and this is like the most. Again, not a lot of gore, but the scenes that were technically violent. Holy fuck! Like,
did not restrain.
Oh my god, and she's just so great as a psycho. Like, she just nails this role. You're fucked in this situation, right? Like, he's a writer. He gets stuck in the snowstorm. She comes and rescues him. She's a nurse, so she knows what she's doing. He trusts her at first, but then, he finds out she's a psycho and she's a hardcore fan.
She's an obsessed fan.
She's obsessed. So he does such a good job, too, like, struggling because he can't move, and I don't know, like, their relationship just cracks me up when he tries to be sweet to her.
I cannot see anyone be in that role than Jimmy Caan, honestly.
I know. Yeah.
Like, think about the actors that were up for that role.
Who? Do you know who? What's up?
Denzel Washington.
No.
Robert De Niro.
I feel like
Al Pacino.
Denzel came back with, what was the one? The Bone Collector?
Yeah, he did that years later.
But that kind of had that same vibe, too, where he's, like, stuck in the,
Yeah, but see, the thing is that...
I read that book, and I
Bone
saw
Collector?
the movie. Yeah, it wasn't.
No, the movie sucked. The movie was garbage.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I see. The thing is that there was another one. I want to say it was James Duvall too.
James Duvall?
Yeah, I think so.
I could see that a little bit.
But James Caan was the only one that would do it. But the reason they all turned it down was because they didn't want to be subservient to a woman, and it's very like,
wow, interesting.
Like, whoa, like I don't want to be, because they felt like his character was second to
Kathy Bates.
To Kathy Bates' character. And
interesting.
I could see that.
Well, yeah, because she takes the light, or she takes the cake in this movie,
Yeah, totally. And so and Denzel at that time, he was still young, so
yeah.
he hadn't broken out yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but all those other guys like Robert Duvall.
Duvall, De Niro, Pacino, all those guys, they were up for it.
They were like, big names. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry.
I bet they regret it.
Yeah, but I honestly think that I couldn't see those guys because their personality is too big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
I think they're too big to be in that role.
Yeah.
And James Caan was at the right time in his career where he can play that role.
Yeah.
And when he played it, he fucking nailed it. And then that kind of gave him second life in the 90s.
That's true.
And
she won an award for this, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Didn't Caan win one too for this or no?
I don't think so.
No. Huh?
I think she did. But yeah, I mean, this movie's just so great. It's so tense. It's so
Rob Reiner too.
Yeah, yeah. What a surprise for him to do a movie like this. You know?
Rob fucking Reiner. I think that was his first and only venture into the genre.
Yeah, because he's known for like dramas or family movies,
romance
and
comedies.
Yeah. So
which he's done a couple of good romance comedies.
Yeah.
And I like Rob Reiner, and he's done like two of the best Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah, Stand By Me,
and this one,
and Misery. He should do another one.
Yeah, he should, huh?
But yeah, this movie is just great. I mean, yeah, watch this while you're having like hot apple cider or whiskey. Like, it's just, in the comfort of your own home when you don't have a broken leg or an ankle.
And just make sure the person you're with is not a fucking psycho.
Yes, yeah, but it's such a good movie. So Misery.
That's a good one. I was actually on my list, but then I was like, shit, I think she said she's doing that one too.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
Yep. That's right.
So I wanted to see that the hobbling scene again. I was like, oh
so
god.
good.
So I'll fix that for you. So number 3, 30 Days a Night.
I need to revisit this one.
So I have not seen this movie since its theatrical release.
And what year is that?
2007.
I feel like a lot came out that year, 2007.
So I have not seen it since then, and I saw it at a shitty theater in Watsonville, sitting next to a very judgmental couple.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a scene in there that I was losing my mind over.
In a good way or bad way?
In a good way, I guess. Because, so often in the horror genre, we talk about this, children are safe unless they're evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you would never show the death of a child on there. And so when they got to the grocery scene, and they were like, and that girl was just fucking mauling on that dude.
Yeah.
And then they all restrain her, and then the brother fucking swings the axe like they're not gonna show it. And then they show it. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh shit. And then like
that was ballsy.
And then the couple looked at me like, the fuck is wrong with you? It's like,
you can't do that to a kid.
You can't do that, but you would never see that. And so like, so I was like, oh shit, whatever. But I enjoyed that movie because it made vampires feel threatening again. It made it feel dangerous.
And to be in the snow like that, we don't really have a lot of snow vampire movies.
No, it's usually zombies or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would think the vampires would be at home in the snow.
Oh yeah, because it's cold and dark and dreary.
Yeah, and so 30 Days a Night takes place in a small Alaskan town where, once a month that,
I think it's like once a month. I haven't seen it since it first came out.
So once a month, like the sun goes down for 30 days in a row. And so the majority of the town gets out of town.
Yeah.
To go like somewhere else, whatever.
Follow the sun or whatever.
It's never really explained why the town shuts down. But we're just supposed to accept it. But throughout the whole entire first night, the helicopters, the telecommunications, internet, all that stuff, all that shit's gone. It's all disrupted. So there's no way you can call for help.
Yeah.
And then on that first night, you have the vampires come in and they just start fucking killing everybody.
And they do it like, I remember it being vicious. Like the
it
way
was
they
violent.
do it. Yeah.
I think the one thing I had a problem with when I saw it in the theaters is that I think it was too much CGI blood. But then when I rewatched it earlier this week, I was like, what the fuck was I tripping on? Like, that looks pretty practical to me, actually.
Was it? I don't remember if something in it was like, how 28 days later the zombies run? I wasn't a fan of that. I like the movie, but I don't like when they run because it's like...
They're not zombies. They're...
No, I know, but I forgot if 30 Days of Night, did they rush or did they run or something? I remember them being like fast.
No, they were actually... So when they were doing the script, they wanted the vampires to move like wolves.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why they would like climb like that,
move
like dogs.
That took me out of it a little bit.
To me, that fit because if you think about it, those vampires were really like feral. They were animals themselves. So I liked the approach to them because they were very animalistic. They weren't very...
they're not like the romantic dark vampire.
Yeah, they're not like some douchebag Robert Pattinson. I'm sorry, Robert Pattinson.
Hey, I love Robert Pattinson.
From Twilight.
I love Twilight.
Teen Edward, whatever.
Yep, that's right.
So like Edward, where like he's like an intelligent creature, right? These vampires, they're intelligent.
They just want blood.
But they're primal first, you know what I mean? That's what I really enjoyed about this movie.
Maybe I'll like it more that way now. Because back then I remember that it kind of took me out of it. But
see, at the same time, you gotta remember, when this movie came out, Twilight was just coming out.
Yeah, Twilight came out 2008.
Yeah, it was just coming out. Because people weren't ready for this kind of vampire. And when they said, like, we want vampires, we get Twilight. Yeah. And Twilight's like the biggest fucking thing ever. Which is disappointing because you have...
I'm a guilty fan of Twilight.
You had, like, Sam Raimi and David Slade,
But that's true. We didn't really have a lot of vampire movies prior to I can't remember the lot. Like, was there a late 90s? I mean, there's Interview with a Vampire, but that was, like, early, mid-90s.
Yeah, but you had vampire movies, but they were like direct to video. They weren't on.
They're shitty.
They weren't up to like a big scale as 30 Days of Night.
And let's not forget Josh Hartnett.
Yes. I'm a fan of Josh Hartnett. I don't know why people aren't.
I love Josh Hartnett.
I mean, present company excluded, but I remember talking about this with a friend of mine. She fucking hated Josh Hartnett.
What? How can you hate Josh Hartnett?
He was like the best thing in Sin City. Like,
oh my fucking god!
Opening segment was awesome.
Hello, The Faculty. Like, hello, Halloween H2O.
I never saw The Faculty.
Oh, it was good. I gotta watch it.
I remember thinking, like, seeing the trailer for it, like thinking, this is a ripoff of Invaders from Mars, just not
or Body
as hokey.
Snatchers. It's great if you don't take it seriously.
I think I've seen it, but I don't remember liking it all that much.
I really liked it because it had a great cast. Like Robert Patrick, Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Famke Jensen. Like, it has a really good cast. but it's a teenager movie. You know, it's like it's a sci-fi.
I was a teenager when the movie came out, and I don't remember liking it.
Revisit it.
I might have to.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple other movies that came back like on my list, like Disturbing Behavior.
Oh, I fucking love that movie.
I'm thinking like maybe I should go back and revisit.
So it has that vibe. It has a similar.
And those two movies came out at the same time, if I remember.
And Kevin Williamson wrote The Faculty, so there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a plus though.
What do you mean?
We'll talk about that off air.
Anyways, 30 Days
to
of
me,
Night.
Vampires. This was the movie. You know what I mean?
And how good does blood look on snow? You know,
It looks really good.
Looks violent. Yeah,
It looks very, very good. And,
scary.
And I like the fact that, you know, like they're survivors.
Yeah.
But the vampires are just so indestructible that these fucking vampires can't be beat. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that one of them has to turn into a vampire in order to beat a vampire. So
I forgot about that.
I really like that. And I like the fact that there is no happy ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a solemn ending for our lead characters. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck, that kind of sucks. Because it's juxtaposed with the opening of like him watching the sun go down, and then having juxtaposed it with him watching the sun come up, just under a different circumstance. Yeah, it's like, whoa.
Did they do a sequel to 30 Days a Night?
Yeah, they did. It was garbage.
I didn't see it.
It came out 2012,
but it didn't have like
direct to video though.
Yeah,
direct to video. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Speaking of blood in the snow, do you know that Hitchcock quote?
But.
Where he talks about
blondes make the best victims.
Oh yeah,
they're like virgin snow that shows up the bloody footprint. That's what I thought.
What a quote! That's a quote right there.
Yeah, it's not a good quote.
It is a good quote. That explains why he killed Janet Leigh.
He had blondes in every movie. Yeah.
You ever watch that movie Hitchcock? Not to get off on a tangent, but you ever watch that movie Hitchcock?
The one with
Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I actually love that movie. I thought it was good, but it kind of showed the light though, because like. His wife is saying, "You always loved the blondes."
It's weird because, like,
good reason.
Hearing now though of like what a creep he was to Tippi Hedren. Like, I love Hitchcock.
But if you watch it though, like she was in that movie, and he explains it to her why he was a dick. It's like you threw it all away because you wanted a family.
Yeah, but I heard like back to the whole sexual harassment thing. Yeah. But I do love Hitchcock. But yeah. Did you have anything else to say about 30 Days a Night?
Watch it.
What can I watch it on? Is it on anything?
It's on Stars, or you can rent it on Prime for $2.
Maybe I'll wait.
I get the 7-day subscription, free.
Maybe
it's free.
Yeah, but then I have to like remember to unsubscribe.
Turn off the auto renew. That's what I did.
It's such a pain in the ass.
I have my auto renew turned off, so I'm gonna go back and watch Jumanji.
The original Jumanji?
No, the sequel.
Oh God.
And that shit was awesome. That's a good popcorn movie too.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that?
No, the Jack Black one, right?
Yeah, with The Rock.
Yeah,
and Kevin Hart.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kevin Hart annoys me. All right, it's my turn.
Anyway,
my turn. All right, so number three. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites, and I just revisited it last night because I totally was like, "This is totally a winter horror movie. How come I never thought about this?" Was The Dead Zone, David Cronenberg's The Dead Zone. Not the show, the movie with Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen.
That was a good movie.
What a great movie. What a depressing movie, though. Yeah. This is not a happy movie by any means. This was 80... Let me look it up.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on disc.
On disc? It's on Prime. You can watch it on Prime now. It came out in 1983.
Okay.
1983 was a good year, apparently.
Yeah. This is just such a great movie. Very heartbreaking. You know, Christopher Walken, a lot of people make fun of his acting. However, in this one, it works because, like, you just feel bad for him. Like, he's such a nice guy. Like, in the beginning, he's such an innocent school teacher, falling in love. You know, he's like, I'm going to marry you to this girl. And then it starts to rain really badly. And there's a horrible winter storm. And then he gets in a horrible car accident. He's in a coma for 5 years. The girl obviously has left him. She's moved on. She's remarried. She has a baby. And he wakes up and then he gets these visions. Like, if he touches your hand, he can predict what happens to you. And it's always something bad, right? It's like, it's never something good. So, and he doesn't know what's happening. And, like, he has to have a cane. And it's, like, winter outside. And, you know, all these things are happening. And tries to help people. Like at first he thinks it's a curse because Tom Skerritt, who's like the sheriff, says, you should help us with this investigation. God gave you a blessing, use it. And he goes, a blessing? I lost the woman of my life. I was in a coma for 5 years. I can't walk. So at first he's very reluctant to having this gift, right? Mm-hmm. But then he starts wanting to help people with it. And very political as well. It's funny because like now watching this, Martin Sheen's character, wow, I don't know, it's very... That's all I'm going to say, but he was great in it, by the way. Martin Sheen actually plays a really good bad guy. Like, really good bad guy. But anyways, like he's trying to run for Senate and he's very fake and he's supposed to be like for the people. But then when Christopher Walken touches him, he sees a horrible vision of him being president and like setting off missiles, and then he like wants to stop it. So that's like his final thing is he's like, what would you do? One of his doctors, he goes, if you could go back and stop Hitler, would you? Knowing you would die, but you would save all these other people. So he kind of has that like quest, I guess, if you want to say. So ultimately the ending's not, it's he helps everybody, but he's left, I don't want to give it away, but it's very, I don't know, it's a very tearjerker movie. Like it's not happy, but it's so emotional and it's just like you feel that winter. I don't know, watching this, it made me feel cold because he's cold and he's like crippled with the cane and he's walking like by the snow. And I don't know, like you just really feel for him in this movie, I want to say. But yeah, I really love this movie and I don't know, I highly recommend it. Have you seen it?
I have not seen The Dead Zone. I have, hold on, I was looking something up really quick.
They made a show.
No, I know what The Dead Zone is, but I was thinking
Michael Anthony Hall. Yeah.
I was thinking about something that the Shockwaves gang was saying, like Elder Kane. He was talking about how that movie's like so now.
Yeah,
because
it is
of the political. Again, like earlier.
I know. Yeah.
Political.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about like when that movie was made. I was thinking, and you just said the missiles. I was thinking, who was president at that time? Reagan.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had that kind of fear too with Reagan. And I felt like that movie was an allegory of Reagan being president. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, like this guy could fucking literally kill us.
I know.
And I haven't seen this movie. I haven't seen a lot of Cronenberg movies. Like the one movie I do want to see though is The Naked Lunch.
Oh yeah.
That one I do want to see. Because I love Peter Weller and I think that'd be a good movie.
So the Dead Zone is great because it's a Stephen King, again, adaptation, but Deborah Hill produced it. And you know me, I love Deborah Hill. She doesn't get enough credit. She like did everything with Carpenter. But the Dead Zone, it's very Canadian feeling because obviously Cronenberg's Canadian, but the music, the score in this, it's very like haunting. And it just, everything just works. But I don't know, I really recommend it. Watch it on Amazon.
This is on my on my list.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I just got to figure out how to do it because I don't want to be like depressed. And like,
I know. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is depressing, but it's just really good though.
Usually when I watch like a really like a depressing movie, I have to have like a backup.
Okay, watch Jumanji after it.
No, I can't watch a movie. I have to watch a show. So I have to have like either like Bob's Burgers,
that's what I do.
or Parks and Rec ready to go. Yeah. Like, okay, let's go.
That's what I do too. Like, because I'm not gonna lie, it is a downer, but it's just so good though. Like, I don't know. I wish it doesn't get enough credit. I feel this movie, and they did make. Really liking it. They did make a show. The show was actually pretty decent with Anthony Michael Hall.
Ran for like 3 seasons, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but.
Interesting story when I've been giving readings for a long time since I was a really young teenager, and when I started giving readings to people, I kind of was inspired by that movie. I would touch people.
Yeah.
Well, that was when I started giving. I would say, "Let me touch the hand. Hold your hand."
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where I got the idea. I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
My readings were, but I would like. Hold their hand.
Because that connection,
after seeing that movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I try it this way? And it always worked.
And what's so great though, so like the first time he meets Martin Sheen, he goes to shake his hand, but Martin Sheen has the, like the pin or the buttons that people wear.
Yeah.
He has that in his hand. And then he like, as he shakes Walken's hand, that button's there. So he doesn't get to feel him at first. So he doesn't get to see it. It's not till later when he like feels something's up with this guy. then he shakes his hand with everybody else. And like, it's funny because like Walken's acting is like...
Does she know about Walken's power?
So everyone in the town finds out that this guy has a power. So I don't actually know if he knows. Everybody else does.
Why would it have a button though?
Like, here, vote for me. You know, like when you're shaking someone's
hand.
hand.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, why would he have it there? Like, other to vote, but like, did he do it like intentional or was it unintentional?
Oh no, it was intentional because like, trying to back up. So Christopher Walken's a school teacher, but then he loses his job because he's in the coma. So then he starts to tutor kids. So this one guy invites him to his house to help his boy, and Martin Sheen's there talking to the guy because the guy's loaded. He's like super rich. He goes, "Oh, you should, donate some money to me." And so he has like his buttons and everything. So he's on his way out as soon as Walken's coming in, and that's where he like does that. But it's a cool, I don't know, it's like a cool scene because it's like he doesn't get to feel him, but.
I can hold people's things.
Oh, so he does that too in the movie. He tries to like hold like.
I was trying to write. It's been a long 30
He doesn't
years
get it though. Like so when there's like a serial killer and he's trying to find out who the serial killer is, he tries to touch I think
an item,
a cigarette carton thing, and he can't get it. It has to be like the victim that's dead that he touches, and then it takes him there. But it's such a cool movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely give this a watch. Okay, so another interesting tidbit. When Walken would go and touch people, and the reason he has that reaction is because Walken was on an actor studio and he was telling him, saying that he had like a phobia of guns, right? At that time, he hated guns. He couldn't stand it.
Interesting. And
so Cronenberg would grab a gun, and every time he would touch him, he wouldn't tell him. Every time he would touch, he would boom.
Oh my god!
Shoot the gun, so the reaction is from Cronenberg shooting the gun.
What?
And it's just like...
Yeah, because when he like, it looks like he's overreacting. Like, like his head's jerking back and like,
And so that's Cronenberg in the back shooting the gun.
That's so fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Okay, so that's your number 3?
3, yeah.
All right, number 2. So I had to swap out one of my movies because I want to save that for February, and because it goes very in line with our theme for February, which we will talk about on our next episode. But I had to save it because to me, I thought it's a wonderful story to me.
Okay.
So I had to go and dig through my library and see what the fuck can I replace it with.
Yeah.
So I came to I Saw the Devil. Korean.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen this.
Okay, so this is winter. It's in the snow in Korea. So there, boom, done.
Boom, bada bing.
There's snow. That's all you need to know. Snow in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh my god.
And so this follows a serial killer who kills a pregnant woman who is trapped along on the highway in the snow, and he kills her, not knowing that she is married to a detective in the special police force who is by Bong Hong-ki? I don't remember.
Is it subtitle?
Yes, it is. And so, anyway, they find her in the river.
That's sad.
And they find her, then they find out that she's pregnant, and then he fucking loses his mind.
Aww.
And he finds out who he is, and instead of taking him to jail, he beats the shit out of him and implants a tracking device into him.
Oh, that's cool.
So every time that he would follow him, and then just follows him to his crimes and stuff like that, and he'll show up, spoil his killing spree, beat the shit out of him again, like break him. And then there's one moment where I love this movie because this movie is so bonkers that there's another serial killer that this serial killer goes to. Oh. And he has a big house, and he's more of like the cannibal type. So he's like picking people off the fucking road, and he's eating them up and shit.
Jeez.
And they're all having dinner, and then the dude shows up and kills the other serial killer, kills his wife, and then
oh my god,
breaks this guy's arm. And
the detectives?
Yeah, the detective breaks the serial killer's arm and his finger and all that stuff in the greenhouse, and then calls the ambulance, and he tells them, "You're not gonna die yet. Wow. I'm gonna make sure you suffer for a long fucking time."
Dang.
when the serial killer wakes up in the hospital, he figures out that there's an implant. He's like, how the fuck is he finding me?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks and he sees a scar that he didn't normally have. Like, he digs through it and he says, oh. Then he finds out who the detective is, and then he goes after his family, kills his in-laws.
Oh no.
And then he kills the chief of police, and then the detective is starting to spin out of control. He's like, motherfucker, I should have killed this dude. Now I lost everything.
Jeez, this is depressing.
Yeah, it is because
Is it violent too?
oh, it is fucking over the top violence. It is crazy violent, and it's directed by Kim Jong-un.
Oh, okay.
So
Where can I watch this?
It is on Prime for $2.
I thought it wasn't on Netflix or Shudder.
It's on Hulu.
I don't have Hulu.
You kind of asked for it there.
Everything I want is on Hulu. Just give me your password.
I have the movie. I can let you borrow it if you want.
Fair enough.
So anyway, Kim Jong-un, and he's done some really good fucking movies that I really enjoy.
What year did
2010.
Oh, okay, so it's more.
He did Tale of Two Sisters, A Bittersweet Life.
Oh, Tale of Two Sisters is supposed to be good.
He did. I think he did Stoker, as well.
Oh, the one with
Wait, don't quote me on that yet.
What's her name?
Mia Wachowski.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. The Good, the Bad, the Weird. It's a Korean Western movie, which is fucking awesome. But I really liked this movie, and when I first saw this movie, it was a blind buy.
Yeah.
Honestly, and so I was like, I'm gonna check this out because I read the bag and I thought this sounds pretty cool. And when I saw this fucking movie, it did not disappoint. That ending was whoa.
It's a whoa, blow your mind kind of ending.
It is, yeah. Like, remember how we were talking about Hellfest? How that ending was supposed to be like, oh shit, but it just like
wasn't.
Woo,
yeah.
You know what I mean? This ending, I swear to God, if you don't say, oh shit, I don't know what to expect. Because that fucking ending and the way it is executed, it is fucking perfect.
Wow.
And
do you think they'll remake, like, have
no, there is a talks of remaking
for American
movie, yeah, with Jason Statham attached, playing the detective. My only concern is that so often what they do, and they did this with Oldboy, is that the reason those movies work so well is because those endings are not only intricate, but they're simple as enough where they're like oh shit moments. You know, like Oldboy, that fucking whole
I didn't see the remake of
I didn't see it either, but like I heard like they didn't stay true to the ending of the original.
That's what I heard too.
And I was like, well, that was the fucking point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the point.
Yeah, I actually heard the remake sucked, but
to me it's like I feel like they're gonna dial it back.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not really hyped
they
about
water it down, I feel, you know?
Yeah, because...
Except let the right one in.
Let me in? Well, that's because that was directed by Matt Reeves, and he was a fan of the original movie.
I feel like that one did a justice, I feel.
But that was... When we get to our remakes, I'm going to make the case, but that is a shot-for-shot remake, though.
Yeah.
It is. Shot-for-shot. Just trimmed.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yeah, I highly recommend this movie. This movie is fucking so good.
Yeah, I want to check it out. That was your number 2?
Yeah, hold on. I want to say his name real quick. It was...
The guy?
Lee Bong-hung.
Lee
Bong-hung, yeah. He was, for those that don't know, that he played Storm Shadow on G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe!
In the movie.
I'm just used to the little skits.
Yeah, but that was, that's my,
Number 2.
Number 2.
Alright. My number 2, and I really don't have to say that much about this movie, just because it's so well known, is The Shining. This is like the ultimate isolation. You're fucked, doomed. Very similar to Misery. Again, Stephen King.
Wait, what was the movie again?
The Shining.
The Shining.
Yeah.
The remake?
No! I am excited for Dr. Sleep, though, because isn't Ewan McGregor playing Danny? Adult Danny? That's what I hear.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Ewan McGregor?
That's what I heard.
I didn't even know they cast that character.
Yeah, unless they changed it, but that's the last I heard, yeah.
You know who they should bring back? Or they should bring on? Jane Levy as Jackie Torrance.
Oh, God.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, back to the Dead Zone. That actually is Castle Rock. I forgot to mention. The town they live in is Castle Rock.
Figured.
In the Dead Zone. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, anyways, The Shining, I mean, this is just it's a popular movie. I know I like to do the unknowns, but I can't help but think of winter and not think of Jack Nicholson freezing to death. That image is just like what you think when it gets cold in California. As soon as it's like 60 degrees, right? But yeah, like that's just the ultimate, you know. The beginning is not winter, but once it does take place in winter, you just feel it. You feel them going crazy. Isolation, gets dark, snowstorm. That's like the ultimate right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jack Nicholson loses his fucking mind over the course of fucking 2 hours.
Yeah,
is amazing.
it's just great. It's like.
And then Shelley Duvall is right with him.
Right? Yeah.
But she's suffering for a whole another fucking
From
reason.
Kubrick, yeah. But yeah, it's just such a good movie and one of the best performances.
I don't know. A lot of people shit on The Shining, like the remake.
Really?
The one.
Oh, the remake.
The
guy from Wings.
Yeah. Which is why they shit on it.
You remember that show?
Yeah.
A lot of people. I don't think people give that a fair shot though. I think another reason why they shit on it too so much is because it was an ABC special. Too.
And wasn't it supposed to be closer to the book?
Yeah, it was closer, and it was actually filmed at the
Colorado?
Stanley Hotel
In Colorado,
yeah.
right?
I wish they had that Stanley Film Festival still.
Oh, I know.
I wanted to go to that, and they only had it for like 4 years, and
Yeah.
then I think 2 years ago was this last year, and then they actually moved it to the Overlook Hotel.
I want to go stay there at some point. I've never been to Colorado, but I've been. So the exterior of the Overlook is in Oregon, and
yeah.
I went there, and it was snowing, and I had like a dress on and like boots. I was skidding all over that parking lot trying to get to the door. It's a cool place though.
Okay, first question: why the fuck would you be wearing a dress in the snow?
Because where I was staying at, we drove there. Where I was staying at, it wasn't snowing. It was just raining. And I didn't know that it was going to be snowing there.
Second
so I
question,
didn't know.
Why are you wearing a dress in the rain?
Because I wasn't outside jumping hoops. I was staying indoors, and it was a long dress.
Did you not hear the fucking rain hit the window?
I was wearing a dress when I was doing my
But that's-
tire chains this week.
And I would say the same thing to you.
I don't have
I did
snow.
have leggings on under my dress.
I don't
That's
have.
supposed to make it better.
They were fleece lined.
Oh my god.
Hey, leggings are warm, depending on which ones
Actually,
you get.
they are.
Yeah. I don't have snow
But they were
attire.
really warm.
But then again, we live in California, so why would we have snow?
Exactly. We're
Why
in
would
like.
we have snow clothes?
Yeah.
We live in California.
But we are prone to rain. So.
Not that much.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways, it's a cool place.
Whatever.
It's a cool place. That's all I have to say. It's very cool. But yeah, so that's my second pick.
The Shining. You're not to get off on another tangent. Did you ever see that documentary, Room 237?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that fucking
All
documentary.
the like Apollo stuff
Yeah.
and the Native American stuff. It's really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which is not really your number one pick.
Shut up. The Gray.
I have not seen this.
With Liam Neeson. Now I have to say, I'm not a big Liam Neeson fan.
What? He's great.
He is, but only in certain movies.
Darkman.
But yeah. Yeah, perfect example. But this one right here is a fucking great movie, though.
So, like, okay, when this came out, there was a lot of animal right protests going on.
Yeah. And
Is it because they treat the wolves like shit in this? Or is it because they don't want to give wolves a bad rep like how this was?
No, it's... Okay, so...
That's why I didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think that's why it hurt this movie theatrically, because a lot of those protesters, and it's not because of the way they were treating, it's because like it's wolves.
The stigma.
It's like wolves are hunting these guys.
Yeah.
But these guys are trying to do whatever it takes to survive. The movie's not really about the guys killing the wolves. It's about these guys
just trying to survive.
They're trying to survive and
so
trying to find a way out.
It's a survivor.
It's
movie?
a survivor film. It's just along the lines as The Ritual.
Okay.
So and the wolves feel really supernatural in this movie. They feel like demons. They feel possessed. It's like Ghost in the Darkness, where the lions feel real supernatural and real light and like a real life monster. These wolves come off as monsters. They come off as demons because the way that they move and the way that they think. Like, they're like 2-3 steps ahead of them. Yeah. And it's like, whoa. And the wolves are hardly in it.
Where does it take place in Alaska? Or where does
it takes place in Alaska. So, Liam Neeson plays a sniper. And his job, which is a real job out in Alaska, is him walking the perimeter to keep the wolves away from, biting. Getting in and, like, killing the people that work at the oil rigs, right? That's a real job title.
That's scary.
That's what he has to do. He has to make sure and provide safety for all of them.
That's really scary.
On holiday, they're all going to leave, and so they all get on a small plane. They're going home. It's like, okay, let's go. Something happens with the engine, and the plane fucking crashes.
Oh, no.
And so the plane crashes. Half of them die while the other half scatter. They all come together. It's like, okay, we got to figure out a way to survive. And the wolves don't show up till like maybe 30 minutes into it. But there's an interesting tidbit where one of the wolves is staring at Liam Neeson and he's like patrolling, looking for a way to come in. But Liam Neeson, he has him in his sights. Yeah. He doesn't pull the trigger because he's like, no, he's just a patroller. He's not coming in. But it was like those wolves were following that plane. It was just...
They're smart.
And it's just amazing the way like they were thinking. And so when they come together and the wolves attack one of them, and then that's when the stakes are raised. Like, shit, we need to go. Yeah. There's this interesting scene when they're sitting around the fireplace. Like, they create a fire to keep warm. Like, and the wolves are surrounding them. Like,
ooh. Howling and stuff.
Yeah, and they hear him. I was like, fuck.
The way this movie looked, it didn't look like Liam Neeson had shelter. It looked like he was like out like in the rural...
He was really grappling. He fucking looked like Mr. fucking Lumberjack.
Really?
Yeah. And to me, and you got Frank Grillo in here.
Oh. I like him.
You got a really good ensemble cast in here, and it's really about these guys trying to survive and these wolves picking these dudes off.
Do they kill the wolves?
They kill one. But the wolves end up getting the whole team. But you have to watch, because the way this movie ends, you're like, holy shit. Right?
And like then punch a wolf
and then it ends. And then it ends. And then it's like, what the fuck? But you gotta stay to the credits though.
Why? Just tell me I'm not gonna watch it.
You're not gonna watch a movie?
No.
Seriously?
Well, is it on anything? Or do you have to pay?
You have to pay for it.
I'm not gonna pay.
Oh my god. It's people like you that ruin movies. So just anyway, okay, so the wolves, they kill everyone except Liam Neeson.
Of course.
And he grabs like these bottles, like these miniature vodka bottles, and he breaks them.
Don't break the vodka.
He breaks them, and then he tapes them onto his hands, like Wolverine. Yeah. And he goes down, and he falls down, and then he falls into the wolves' den, like into their den where like there's a bunch of skulls and shit. And it's like it's the same kind of den, but just like on a waterbed, like in Ghost of the Darkness. You know how they went into the cave and saw all those skeletons? Yeah. And the same deal, and you saw those kind of skeletons too.
You see all the people that they've killed.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck. And they find out that they're in their lair. And it's like, shit. And then they surround him and they kill everyone else, and then it's like, shit. He falls down a hill, grabs the bottles, breaks them, ties them up, and then there's like 4 wolves right there. And then he yells like, ah! He starts running and then cut.
Okay, and then the credits roll.
It says directed by, and then the credits roll. And then you don't know what happens, and then it fades back, and the camera is slowly panning on the snow, and you see his hands, and it twitches. It's like he's still alive.
That's how it ends?
That's like a post-credit scene, though. The post-credit scene, because a lot of people said that he died at the end of the movie. But
if it twitches.
Well, because he moves his hand like...
That means he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he moves his hand and it's like, oh shit, he's still alive. Like, how is that? He took on 4 fucking wolves.
The wolves would kill you like that. There's no way anyone would survive. Unless you had fire or like a gun, you'd be dead.
Yeah, and I don't know, but you know, again, it's a movie, and to me, I was like, you know what? This fucking movie is awesome. I really enjoyed this movie, and to me, it's really suspense. It's really tense. I like movies like that.
And it's snowing, right?
Yeah, they're in the snow.
Is there blood?
Tons of it. Another thing too, I think it was like another thing that kind of bugged me is that it was CGI blood in certain spots.
Oh, see, that ruins it for me.
It takes me out of it because it's
that's what the new It had.
Yeah, but my number one, The Gray, that's a
good pick.
That's a really fun movie. I highly recommend you watch that though.
We'll see.
No, we'll see. You need to watch it.
You gotta watch The Dead Zone. All right, my number one, and it's one of my top films, is John Carpenter's The Thing. This is
okay. Hold on.
And we had a fight, like, who was gonna do this?
Yeah, we almost came to blows.
But you don't like sci-fi as much as I do.
No, that's not true. I just don't like the kind of sci-fi you like.
You like The Thing?
Yeah, but that's sci-fi horror. I like Annihilation. You don't like Annihilation.
Because I don't like Natalie Portman.
You don't like sci-fi. That's why.
I love, like...
Okay, we'll put an end to this debate.
All right, anyways.
No. I'm going to ask you a question.
What?
This is going to end the debate. Did you like Ex Machina or not?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
No, I really want to see it, though, because I like that guy in it.
Then your sci-fi card is invalid. I'm sorry.
What's that guy's name?
Void. Oscar Isaac.
No, the other one.
Brandon Gleeson?
Oh, he's so hot.
Donham
Gleeson.
Yeah.
He looks like a Radiohead guy. But yeah. Anyways, The Thing, John Carpenter's. I'm not a big fan of remakes, but I think this is like one of the best remakes. This film, it's not for everybody, I'm not going to lie. It is a slow burner. It's very slow. It takes its time. But it has fucking Kurt Russell, who's amazing and is like the ultimate action man. And you're like out in fucking Antarctica, middle of nowhere, snowstorm, alien, weird shit going on. You can't trust anybody, and you're stuck there. It's just so great. Like, this music's great in this as well. And the guy's on his roller skates, and you hear Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
That was creepy.
So great. It sets up the tone, though, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's a very masculine film. There's no women in this, and I think that's why I liked it, because a lot of films try to have the girl in it to have like a romantic vibe. I actually like that this didn't have that. I
think another thing too, because I don't think you would have. I really don't see like any place for a woman, not to be like sexist or anything, but right. I didn't see a natural place for a woman in that situation.
But the third remake, I want to say, the one with
that's actually not a remake.
Well, it's supposed to be a prequel, but that had a woman though.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the scientist.
Yeah. But I like that this didn't have that.
To be the scientist?
I don't know. I never seen the movie, so I don't know what her role was.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. Women can't be scientists.
Even Barbie was a scientist.
Right? If Barbie can be a scientist, so can you. But anyways, I like that this was a masculine film. I don't think a lot of girls, I don't think a lot of teenage girls would like this film. I did, because I was into...
I don't know. I feel like... I kind of feel women do, and girls, I do feel like they do like these kind of films because it's masculinity. It's like, it's something that they don't see very often.
Especially in today's society. There's not a lot of masculine guys anymore.
Which will leave.
There's not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I think... Like, again, earlier to our conversation about the ritual, how half the women didn't like it because, it was like maybe too masculine, and the other women...
But that's not why, for me personally, that's not why. I know, but
I'm just saying, like, when I've heard, like, other people talk about it, it's like, that's one of the reasons, like, oh, it's a guy thing, you know what I mean? But I know a lot of girls that like Predator.
Yeah.
I know girls that like Predators,
So you have to like that kind of vibe and that genre. And then, but like I'm saying, like, I don't think, like, a teenage girl that listens to Britney Spears... is gonna like The Thing,
No, a teenage girl that listens to fucking Metallica is gonna like this movie. You know what I mean?
So it is like for a specific audience, but I just love the way it was shot too, and the suspense in it, and knowing you can't fucking trust anybody. Like, that's crazy, right? And the ending is so
ambiguous.
It just leaves you with like, what? Who is who? Who is like really who? It's just great.
I really love that ending. I remember when I first saw it as a kid, I didn't quite get it.
Same here.
I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, that's how you end that movie?
Yeah.
Because as a kid, like, I kind of wanted an answer, you know what I mean? But then, as an adult, when you mature and you start looking at it,
right,
and from a different perspective, you're like, holy shit!
And you're like, it makes sense. Though,
yeah, but it's like, holy shit! That's kind of the point of the movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, who could you trust in that situation?
And the poor dog scene. Oh my god,
that was terrible. Like,
and I had a husky. I had many huskies growing up, so to see that, I was like, oh my god. But the special effects in this were great. That whole chest part. Oh my. This is like before CGI, right? So this was like actual like makeup special effects. So freaking great. And I think it still holds up. A lot of people don't.
It does.
I think it does.
Still holds up.
I saw this in the theater a couple years back with Predator.
Alien that doesn't. The special effects in Alien.
Oh, yeah. But I saw this as a back-to-back with Predator, the Castro Theater in SF a couple years ago. And I was like, this still holds up. I'm like, anybody that says it doesn't, whatever, it totally does.
Botine, that's what it was. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh.
I think it was I think it was Rob Botine that did the effects.
The effects?
Yeah.
So good.
And to me, I was like, I think that those, even like under like the Blu-ray and the 4K scan,
yeah,
it still looks fucking amazing, and it actually shows the limitations that CGI has.
Right.
Even though practical takes a little bit more time and a little bit more money, but when you get those shots, especially with that chest shot,
the chest was so great.
And then what happens at the end, that was just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes to show you that practical effects is usually the way to go.
Did you hear about the alternate versions?
Oh, well, about the alternate ending?
Yeah.
How they actually had it was actually supposed to be stop motion of the alien, where it's supposed to be Childs that shoots him.
Right.
It's supposed to shoot the flamethrower at him.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think it's on online right now.
Did they actually shot it though?
There is clips of it. I did see.
Interesting.
I don't know if it was just a storyboard or if it was an actual test run. But it looked like it was stop motion, but Carpenter took it out because it didn't look right.
It didn't look right.
Yeah.
I'm glad they ended it the way they did because, like, yeah.
Yeah, because had they done that way, I think that would have been like...
It wouldn't have been the money, or not the money shot. It wouldn't have been like the big boom,
Yeah, but the creature at that time, though, but the way it looked, it just didn't look. It didn't look right.
Right.
It looked so out of place.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that doesn't look good.
Yeah. But this movie's, I don't know, I just love it. I love watching it in winter, too. And just like, oh, man,
This played at a midnight screening at the Del Mar 2 years back. And I fucking regret it.
Oh, you didn't get to see it?
I didn't get to go.
It's really cool to watch on the big screen.
They had a Carpenter weekend.
Oh.
And it was Escape from New York Friday night.
Wow.
And then The Thing Saturday night. I was like, I wanted to go. Right, I don't know why I didn't go Friday night because I was supposed to go with my friend George and my lady. I don't know what happened.
My lady.
I don't know what happened, but we ended up going, and I was kicking myself. I was like, fuck.
I feel like Escape from New York, you could pass on the big screen, but The Thing on the big screen is really great because he uses all those wide shots.
Yeah, and the thing about that was it was the 4K restoration.
Oh.
And I wanted to see how it would look on the big screen. I thought that would have been really cool.
Try to watch it the next time it comes, even if it's not the 4K, because it's just like, and the audience is just so into it too, especially the chess scene. It's just fun. This is a good group movie too.
Yeah, it is.
Like this with Predator, I could totally see being a group.
What I want to do is try to watch the Apocalypse trilogy that this is a part of. Mm-hmm. This, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness, and watch them all back to back.
Yeah.
And see how these films are connected. Although the themes they're connected, but I want to see not only thematically, but I want to see if the creature itself is like, conjoined with all the others. Yeah, it's like putting it all together.
Prince of Darkness, I don't remember loving.
I've never seen Prince of Darkness.
I've seen it once, or actually twice, but it's been a while. I'd have to revisit it. But I don't remember like loving it.
No.
It's just kind of like, eh. In the Mouth of Madness was good. It was never like my top favorite.
That was like one of my favorites.
But I do really enjoy it.
That was one of my favorite movies. And I really love Sam Neill.
He's great in it.
I love how he just loses his fucking mind at the end. It's like,
he's underrated too, I think, Sam Neill.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays a good bad guy too in Event Horizon. He was great. But, yes,
that could actually apply for Winter, actually.
It could. Too. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I was like, see, this is why my list was really hard for me, because even Insomnia, like, that's a freaking great winter movie. Even though it's more thriller than horror, that's a freaking great one too.
That is a good one.
Just don't watch Iced.
I don't know, you got me kind of curious now.
Oh my god, it's so bad. So, like, when I first started, you can find it on YouTube. When I first watched it, the beginning is great because it's like a very low angle shot of a skier, and it looks like it's nighttime, and then it has like the poles, and it's like really dramatic, and then it like freeze frames. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool.
It goes iced.
Yeah, and it's like, and the music's like, and he's got the poles down, and then it's just like there's no killings happening. Like, I gave up. I was like, this is just not great. It's not.
What? No kills.
Well, towards the end there is, but like for the first, like, yeah, I don't know. Not great.
All right.
Not great.
Okay, so we're gonna take a break next week, so there won't be a new episode next week. I might hit you with a bonus episode with my Glass review.
Oh God, when is that coming out?
It's actually next week.
Ugh.
So I might go see it Thursday and
Yawn.
have a review up. And have the review up Saturday as a bonus episode. So
I'm not gonna see it, so
yeah. Well, yeah. Whatever.
Not,
Fine.
Not a fan.
Whatever. You can go to hell.
Wow.
Whoa.
Go to hell. Why don't you talk about Glass?
Right? It just looks like it's trying to.
Why can't you just let me have my thing, huh? Just let me have my thing.
It just looks like it's trying to be too much, you know. Even though like what's his face is really buff in it and shirtless, but like besides that, it's just.
Yeah, so may or may not have a bonus episode for you guys, but then we'll come back the week after with. We decided what we're gonna do the week after.
Oh yeah, let me look at our notes. Have we decided? I don't think we did. We were
Producers picks.
No. We were, I think.
If you want,
yeah.
Because we don't have an episode.
We were thinking of reviewing the house that Jack built, but
oh yeah,
we kind of already talked about that on my top 10 or like my favorites of last year. But we were gonna do serial killers.
We'll figure this out. We'll
figure it out. Yeah.
It'll be a whole nother episode of just sitting here trying to figure out.
Right, I know. I hear the rain. It's raining right now.
I can't hear shit. I got my headphones in.
Beep.
All right, so that's it. I am your host, the Boogeyman, along with my co-host,
and I am Ginger Snap.
And the woman over here is Miss Moist, so no one cares. All right.
Wow, so rude.
All right, ladies and gents, we are out of here.
Stay scary.
Bye. We'll be back from the crypt soon.